Can't let my brother hear that. Shout out to Bernard Morgan, can. But I'm going with the Eagles and the Eagles' run game. I think I'm gonna go with the Eagles. Yeah.
I will definitely be heading to a Super Bowl party and tuning in for my birthday. I'll do that. So I always have to share that.
Okay. So what else is popping?
Well, what's popping? Let's talk about what's sadly not so popping.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
I want to send my prayers out to. Let's start with everyone in LA with all the fires that have been happening.
Yes.
That is. Just seeing it is just that's how the year started, and it's just I don't like that too much. You know me, I'm full of bubbly, so this is just really sad. So prayers to everybody in LA, prayers to everybody with the I don't even. It's just too sad. The plane crashes, the helicopter crashing into an airplane in DC,
Yes, that was
and
sad.
also in Philly.
Yes.
So it's just. It seems like it's constantly happening.
Right.
And it hit close to home because one of the flight attendants was actually from Coney Island, where I'm from. So I've never met the young lady, but my prayers go out to everyone's family because it's just a little too much going on. So praying for the world.
Praying for the world. And it's only 1 week for, Orange Man in office and all this is happening. It's not good. It's not good. It's not good.
I am praying for changes for the better.
So who we got coming up?
Ooh, who do we have coming up? So we have Coach Brian Phillips coming up next, and then after that he's been on our show before, Akil Parker, and we also have Dr. Dante Ryan coming up on our show. So I can't wait to interview you guys.
Yep, and again, shout out to our sponsors, Moe's Seafood, Play It Again Sports, Timonium, Brainstream Media, and Tone Drone Productions. And we'll be right back.
See you.
Our mission focuses on showcasing local and global talent of all ages on and off the field. We will strive to inspire, educate, and bridge the divides through our media collaboration. Our goal is to give student athletes and coaches the platform to let their talents be seen and a platform for the community to let their voices be heard. This is the Union Media Group.
Feeling great.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. Meet us in the trenches,
Meet us in the
viewers.
trenches. And we're back. We're back with Coach B, Coach Brian Phillips from the Poets. This is with their inaugural flag football season. And they was Baltimore City champions. They was the champions. They beat my school. They beat my Clippers. So we had Coach Mark on. Shout out to Coach Mark. He gave you guys a lot of props, man. He said that was a tough game, and but he really enjoyed the experience on the year. So we wanted to get you guys on at the same time.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? But we knew you was booked up. So
Right.
he said Coach B booked up. So tell us a little bit about the season, Coach B, and what did you think about the inaugural flag season? What was your thoughts on it? I mean, like going in.
Well, when they announced it, I was real excited about it because I also work in Dunbar. So for the 4 years I've been in the school, the young ladies wanted to play football anyway. And I'm telling them, y'all can't play football at Dunbar. This is just a whole different animal as the young ladies. So I was real excited and happy about it when they announced it, and it was fun. It's been fun.
Oh, wow. So what was your thought process on it, Miss Linnea? This is Miss Linnea. I said, what position you play? She said, every position on defense. So what was your thought process, Miss Linnea, and how did you enjoy the season, the inaugural season?
Well, first, I wasn't even ready to play. I ain't really lie. I wasn't even ready to play. But I walked on and fulfilled my spot. Played first and second defense, every position on defense. And it was fun to get to know most of the girls in my school that I didn't know before. We made bonds, and just winning games just felt good. Because we started off rocky. But after that, we just got there. It just clicked. And to go to the Ravens Stadium, that was a dream. That was definitely a dream.
Okay. So what about the rules of the game? How long did it take you to adapt to the rules of the game and kind of understand it? And, what did you think about the rules of the game? How long did it take for you to adapt to them?
Well, I played football basically all my life. So it wasn't really nothing to adapt to besides like a smaller field. That was about it.
Okay.
Because I played for my Uncle Ty when I was 7. I played in the 410 All-Star game.
Okay.
So the only thing I really had to adjust to was the no tackle part. That's all I wanted to do was tackle.
I love that for you. And my next question is for you, Coach Brian Phillips. Can you tell us how long you worked with student athletes, and how did you get interested in this new sport?
Okay, well, I came to Dunbar in 2015 to coach boys JV. So we won championship at the championship doing that. In my second year, I moved up to varsity thanks to Coach Lon Smith. So I had 5 states there. And so when flag came up, it was just, I coached the wide receivers on both teams. So it was a no-brainer because flag is more like 7-on-7 wide receiver type stuff. And so I was like, okay, I've been here that long. I might as well just go on and get paid for coaching now because then I was volunteer all them other years. So it was just a no-brainer to just jump on. And it was a good journey because my mindset was 7-9. I coached 7-9 youth football. So with the girls, I wanted to go fundamental, basic 7-9.
Yep.
As I did that, just keep encouraging them to do well. So, and like she said, it started out rocky for us. And I kept telling them, we good. I wasn't worried about the first couple of games. I just wanted to worry about the division. So once we got into the division, we went undefeated. So it was good. It was good.
So what was the difference of coaching girls, because you got 5 states, so what's the difference of coaching girls versus the boys?
They caught on a lot faster than what I thought they would. To be honest with you, they did catch on a lot faster. They were determined to get it right. So sometimes they wouldn't get stuff right. They were like, well, let's do it again. Sometimes I wanted to end in practice. They weren't ready to end practice. Sometimes I didn't want to practice. They wanted to practice. So I just threw my life away for a minute to make sure they good. That's the real big. The boys are still like that, but for them to be determined to be better, the main thing with me was like I was more so worried about their emotions when it come to competitive level. So I grabbed this school psychiatrist and the school social worker and put them on my staff with me. So that
man.
made the adjustment to them a lot
That was
easier.
smart. That was smart, man.
So I was like, okay, and then I brought my wife along with me as well. Like, let me take her with me too as well, because it was just something she could say to him that I couldn't say.
Yeah.
So I made a couple of strategic moves there to make it work. Yeah.
That was smart, Coach. That was smart. So what do you think about the school psychiatrist and the coach's wife on the staff? What was your thought process on that?
My thought process, well, the school psychiatrists, they were so nice, and it was like they encouraged us because every game we prayed before we played. So they just encouraged us to want to be better and to do better. And Coach V's wife, Coach Main gave me a nickname. She called me Ray Ray. So I got that name because I'm very aggressive when I play, and I like to hit. So I know. But for her to give me that nickname, it was like she believes in me. Yes, she believed in me real bit. And it's like she knows that I can go further. So to have her on there and to have everybody, the whole staff, they were just like a ball of encouragement. Because like they believed that we could do it. So the little rough start, they helped us turn that over and go undefeated.
Okay.
And can you tell us about your thoughts on Linnea and how she plays and the future of this sport? Like, how do you see the sport growing in the next few years? So your thoughts on her.
My first thoughts on Linnea was like I had to have because I knew she played, and then her competitive level was like it's crazy. She might be the most competitive female in the school when it comes to sports. So I know I needed her. I knew she played, and even though she wasn't really there in the summer for the beginning parts, when she came, she did do that, and I knew she was tough. She wanted to tackle people. She really did. She was like, "Can I go hit him, Coach B? Can I go hit him?" And I'm like, every now and then I said, "Okay, you can hit one. You can hit one, but that's it." But she adapted real well. She's a leader. She led the team in tackles. She had a lot of sacks as well. And then she just encouraged the rest of them. She brought the toughness out for everybody. So I only lose 3 players. So I had 30. I signed 52 up when they said it. But I wound up with 30. Finished the season with like 26. But players on the team, everybody played too, but so I only lose 3. I bring the whole squad back. Mark was talking that we be waiting for him. We be waiting for him because I think we're going to do well again. So, yeah.
So what's your thought processes on, because I heard they're expanding it to like the more of the state level. So what's your thought process on maybe going to that state? I mean, of course, you're going to have to play in your division.
Right.
And, battle Patterson for that championship. But then when you get to the states, what do you think about that? Do you think, what you think?
It was kind of different because we went down to stadium. The county teams played a different style than what we did. We ran in the city. They passed in the county. So we kind of like weren't ready for that. I think the stage was too big for us.
Yeah.
They gradually bring in different counties in as the years go. But I think next year everybody comes in from Maryland.
Yep.
I think you need 90 schools in order for it to be a state tournament there.
Okay.
So once they get to that part, then I think it's going to be really, really good. But we so far behind in Baltimore with it because Georgia been doing it for like 20-something years, like that. So the middle school's been doing it, but the high schools have it here in Baltimore. Yeah. So it's all about, now that the high school's doing it, it's all about, doing the proper recruiting, doing the proper trying to see which child can play that want to come to the school. And it's hard because they playing the same time we playing. Okay. So you can't really get out and see them. So we'll see how it go.
Wow. Well, it's nice to have you guys on, man. And, shout out to the poets. And it's hard for me to believe that you that aggressive and, you seem so nice, right? So, Ray. But, baby Ray. But thanks for having you guys on, man, and we'll really appreciate you guys being on. Tan, you got anything?
Thank you both for coming. We appreciate you both.
We thank y'all for having us.
Again, shout out to the Poets, inaugural flag champions.
And shout out to our sponsors, Tone Drone TV, Brainstream Media, Moe's Seafood, Play It Again Sports Timonium. We'll be right back.
Our mission focuses on showcasing local and global talent of all ages on and off the field. We will strive to inspire, educate, and bridge the divides through our media collaboration. Our goal is to give student athletes and coaches the platform to let their talents be seen and a platform for the community to let their voices be heard. This is the Union Media Group.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Carter version, not the Mace version. I keep telling you
Welcome
that.
back.
No.
Welcome back. Mace
Terrible.
version.
No way.
Which one y'all choose? Hold on. Which welcome back version you choose?
I go with the Mace version.
Oh man. No, you yet? What? Golly.
Oh man,
Who we got
are
on
back. You know who's back? You know who we're welcoming back? Akil Parker. He's been here with us before.
Oh man, great segue. Great segue, Shorty. Okay.
What I want to know what updates you have for us since you've been here last. What's been going on?
Just consistently plugging away, building up the YouTube channel that everybody should subscribe to. If basically if you want your children to have like free math tutoring infused with Black history facts and information. So the All This Math YouTube channel. We up to like 6,500 subscribers now. I got like about 840 videos on there, ranging from topics in arithmetic, algebra 1, trigonometry, pre-calculus, stats. We got all that. So
So what's going on with Mr. Dr. Dante Ryan? What we got going on, Doc?
So Dante Ryan, co-founder of the Ryan Institute with my wife. We provide academic support, test prep, personal development, enrichment. And so currently we're in about 10 schools in Baltimore City where we provide academic support and test prep. And then we work with other partner programs of ours where we do academic enrichment, but also personal development.
I'm interested in knowing what are you looking to accomplish right now with All This Math and Learn with Ryan. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what you're looking forward to?
Who you start with?
You want to start with me? Well, my larger mission, for my company is to teach math to the entire Black community. Because we got 99 problems, but I don't want math to be one of them no more. Right? I want for parents not to be frustrated when their children bring homework home that they don't recognize and they don't understand. So, and it's all about creating resources, So the YouTube channel is a resource. I also I have a book available, How to Use All This Math, Volume 1, where I show you how like your everyday activities that you might not think you could use as a math lesson is a math lesson. There's a math lesson in everything. And, you know, these are things that I've done with my own children. So, you know, it's been battle tested, you know, and just like think about it, like when you meet somebody that their parent is a math teacher, what's the first thing you think? You think, oh, you probably real good at math, right? Because your mom or your dad is a math teacher. Well, my children are pretty good at math because, you know, the things that I do with them. But what I'm trying to do is like really level the playing field and share those experiences with everybody, with the whole community. So that's why I just want people to tap into the YouTube channel, purchase the book. The book's available on Amazon. And yeah, and you know, especially for the parents, because I really want parents to get over their own personal fears of mathematics, because a lot of parents, they were children once upon a time that were fearful in math class and were uncomfortable. And, you know, a lot of times you probably didn't have a good math teacher, or you had a math teacher that just was mean for no reason, you know, or whatever. But and as time goes on, you grew and now you got children, and that was passing on intergenerationally.
Yeah, so we're going to echo that same question to you, Doc, and give us a little synopsis of the same thing.
Yeah, so similar to my buddy. And so coincidentally, Akil and I, we go way back. We met back in '93, little snot-nosed freshmen at Poly. But nonetheless, you know, the mission is still the same as Akil and all this math, where our goal is, again, to provide as many resources as we possibly can to the families in and around the country. You know, SAT prep is one of the big ones that a lot of people from all across the country, they come to us because they're looking for their scholar to, you know, kind of get some funding for school, get accepted to different schools. We also going to be launching a computer science program in the next few weeks. It's going to be completely free, where we're going to be teaching data science using Python for students in and around Baltimore City. And so those are just a few things. We also have a literacy program that my wife runs, which is the Little Miss Baltimore program, where she helps young girls through literacy build up self-confidence and things of that nature. So, like I said, we're trying to be a one-stop shop for any and everything children, right? So everything from academic support to helping them improve their soft skills, right? Because even, you know, you have some students that are really bright, but their soft skills is not really where it needs to be. So, you know, they go into spaces and they don't have the confidence necessary to, you know, articulate what they can do and things of that nature. So, so that's what we're about. We're really just about trying to provide these resources to our community so that wherever their goals are. So if they want to get to the college level, if they want to go into trade school, if they want to go into the military and take, you know, and they have to take the ASVAB. So we just provide that resource. So we help students prepare across the board.
What does a satisfying tutor session look like for you?
Ooh.
So students being able to gain understanding of their homework, you know, especially if they didn't understand it in class, or maybe we're reviewing a quiz or a test that they failed, and now they're able to see their mistakes, and not only see their mistakes, but to be able to explain their work process and their thought process. Because like when I tutor, like I'm not as interested in like right answers, because nowadays like right answers are not enough. They're not that important. Because now with so many different resources like PhotoMath and ChatGPT and everything, you can always get a right answer. But can you explain why the answer is right in your own words? And can you also explain why your answer was wrong in your own words? So really to be able to like tell the story of like what's really going on in those math problems, you know? And that's how you show like true understanding.
Yeah, you know, I think a lot of young black boys especially suffer from like mild cases to severe dyslexia. And they go unchecked, you know, and I think it kind of mess with the psyche in school. And I think a lot of like psychiatrists and stuff, they just, you know, they want to put them on medication, but they don't even know really what's wrong with them, right? So explain to me, or explain to us your thought process on that.
Yeah, so when we're working with students, one of the main things that we train our staff is you have to understand that everyone learns differently, right? And so we don't really attach labels and all that stuff like that to students. In fact, when parents come to us and they tell us that their student was diagnosed with this or diagnosed with that, one of the first things I tell them is this: is that for us, that's irrelevant for us, because what we're going to do is going to cater to your learning style. But more importantly, we want the student to learn their learning style so that when they're in class or when they're reading a textbook or even if they're looking at a YouTube video or things of that nature, they can now identify, hey, what's the best way for me to learn so I can grasp this material. And so when we're working with students, one of the main things that we like to do is, similar to what Akil had mentioned, which is, hey, can you articulate to me what you're doing and why you're doing it? That's really the key thing, right? It's not necessarily what you're doing, but also, do you understand why you're doing it? Why are you going from step 2 to step 3? Or why are you, when it comes to writing, why are you writing it in a certain fashion? Are you answering things, as far as when it comes to the prompt and so forth? Are you really understanding what you're doing? And so, so when parents come to us, I tell them, the labeling is irrelevant for us because we're going to cater to your learning style. So right now, it's 4 of us at this table. Every last one of us can learn differently, right? And depending on what teacher we're sitting in, right, or what classroom we're sitting in, and how the teacher teaches, right? I might get an A, the rest of you might not get an A. But that's because she's catering to my learning style. Doesn't mean that you're less intelligent than I am, right? It just means that you learn differently. And so, similar to, an animal, right? We wouldn't compare, a dog how it climbs a tree, right? Because that's not what its function is, right? And that's not necessarily what it's about. And so that's kind of how we work with our students. Really just try to get them to identify their learning style, so that moving forward, their confidence can really kind of come through. And when that confidence comes through, now all of a sudden they can address, the more difficult problems and things of that nature.
And I also have a question for you, Dr. Ryan. How does teaching and learning math assist within fields like real estate and other fields?
Yeah, so when you're talking about other fields, let me first start with this. My background is actually in engineering. So when you call me Dr. Ryan, it's because I have a doctorate in engineering, right? And so engineering is what we consider to be an applied mathematics field, right? So you learning. So when students say, "Well, I'm not going to use Pythagorean theorem, and I'm not going to use this, and I'm not going to use that." Well, in actuality, in engineering, you're going to use it. Like there's something that I used in communications, which is triangulation, which is how our cell phones work, right? So I use a lot of that complex math when it comes to designing communication networks. But with that being said, is that every field has some. Essentially, you can model mathematically something that's going on with that field. So let's say, for example, in Baltimore, when they talk about the median house costs, right? Well, that's something that you learn in statistics or probability and stuff like that. When you're talking about trying to make your paycheck stretch, right? And you got to buy X amount of groceries and all that stuff like that. Well, that's algebra. And so, every career fair is different, but when it comes to applying the math, it's really, what I always tell students is this: the best use of applying math is using it when it comes to money. That's one thing you're not going to mess up. You're not going to mess up your money. And so that's one of the reasons why that mathematics is very important.
And next question for you. How does math correlate with athletics?
So I got like 2 questions to that. I would approach that in 2 different ways. One way is I think it's very important for us to really start to create true student athletes. Because oftentimes we have athletes that happen to be students, or athletes that just the classes, like math class, their algebra class, their statistics class, whatever, may just be like a necessary evil, like a class they got to go to and get a certain grade in just so they can be academically eligible to play.
Wow.
But what I want for our children is to really be student athletes where the same confidence that they have on the football field, the same confidence they have on the basketball court, they can have when they walk into that Algebra 1 class. They can have when they walk into that Algebra 2 course, that geometry class, right? So they're not trying to cut class and get over or just figure out what I got to do just to pass just so I can play on Friday, all right, or whatever. So that's one way in which math directly correlates to athletics, by being able to excel as a student. But then when you get into the actual sports, you think about football, angles of pursuit, it's all mathematics. In football, whether it's basketball, the different trajectory. You talk about algebra 2, projectiles, and that's one way when somebody say, well, what am I use the quadratic formula for? Well, every time you shoot a basketball, you're using algebra 2. You're making a parabola, right? You're doing that y equals ax squared plus bx plus c and all that. right? You're using that, right? You might not know you're using it, but just because you don't know you're using something doesn't mean that you're not using it, right? Just like think about the food that we eat. We don't know what the ingredients are in most of the food we eat, but it's still in there, like Prego, right? So there's definitely, it's so many correlations, just like so many different areas and aspects of everyday life. Like there's math in everything, right? We just been like kind of systematically programmed to think that math is irrelevant, so that way we'll disqualify ourselves from a lot of opportunities out here in STEM disciplines and a lot of other disciplines.
DEI.
I even saw on your Instagram you talked about hair, like our braids being correlated to math. I was like, whoa, didn't even think about that.
That's all geometry, all of it, you know. And then even when like you sitting there like braiding your daughter's hair or something, like you can have math lessons right there, have conversations right there, and that's even better because it ain't no MCAP score you got to worry about. It's a safe space. It's a non-stressful situation. So you could be talking about like counting out, you know, how many barrettes you gonna put in your hair. Like if I'm putting 4 beads in each braid and you got 15 braids, let's do some multiplication. What's 15 times 4? And that's the way to practice math before your child even get into school. Because the one thing we've been conditioned to do is completely outsource the teaching of mathematics to the schools. We can't be doing that. We got to take control of the education. So by the time they get to school, they're able to practice things that they've already learned in the household while they were sitting there relaxing, getting their hair braided, you know, getting their hair twisted or whatever. And it's a lot of just different, like, you know, organic situations where we can have those conversations, you know, with our children.
I coached at Poly, man, and them kids they different, man. I was there from 05 to 2013, and they different, man. They was like robots, man, coaching them guys. But Doc, tell me a little bit about the Mellow Classic and the Sanctuary. Talk to me a little bit about that. And you can add that sports piece in there too.
Yeah, so just tying into the sports thing, one of the things that when I'm working with students, one of the things I like to talk to students about is the different careers that's available in athletics that doesn't have to do with being on the court or on the field, right? So you can do things like data analysis. So right now, in preparation for the Super Bowl, right, you got personnel on the Eagles and the Chiefs. They're sitting there and trying to identify, hey, which plays are going to be the most successful? Which one has the highest probability of success based on, you know, all the data that they have for this past season, right? So that's nothing more than math. That's nothing more than statistics. Yeah. And so that's something that students need to understand. That sometimes, listen, you may not necessarily reach that pinnacle where you're going to be a professional, but you can still stay tied to the game through professions that are tied to athletics in the form of, you know, math and things of that nature. So, you know, that's why it's important to, similar to what Akil said, it's just important that we help students increase their confidence when it comes to that. Now, when it comes to Team Mellow and the Sanctuary, and so fortunate enough, we, when we were at Poly, coincidentally, Coach Sam Brand and Coach Dominic Harrison, they were also at Poly, and so they're leading the efforts when it comes to the Sanctuary and Team Mellow. And so the Ryan Institute, one of the things that we do is we are the academic arm for Team Mellow. I'm going to kind of separate the two because they're not necessarily one and the same, but they are one and the same. So with Team Mellow, that's their travel aid youth program for basketball for girls and boys. And so we provide academic support. So when those students are not necessarily, living up to their academic goals, you know, we come in and we provide some support for them in all subject areas, right? And it doesn't matter what their age groups. Now, when it comes to the Sanctuary, Coach Brand, he had this vision where students, through the love of basketball, they can now provide this wraparound service for students where they can come in, they can get strength and conditioning, they can get mental health support, they can get academic support while all learning the game of basketball the right way. And so that's what the Sanctuary Collective is. And so it's not just us, it's so many other partners that are affiliated with the Sanctuary. That's really the main goal is just helping students through the game of basketball have all the resources that they need to be successful. And so that's what the Sanctuary Collective is.
So I work in the school system, right? And I always tell the math teachers at my school, I say, math teachers are born and not made. I'm like, man, I just truly believe that. So tell me a little bit about that and that theory, and could that be true? Break that down to me.
You said they're born. Your belief is that they're born and not made?
Yes. But I don't say that jokingly. I really mean that. To the math teachers at my school, shout out to Joseph C. Briscoe math teachers, but especially Mr. Sariano, shout out. But I just think that when I watch them work, it's like a marvel to watch math teachers go to work, man. So explain that to me.
I mean, you got to care about your students. I mean, there's certain qualities and attributes that you should be born with, you know, that makes it easier for you to be successful. But I think we talked about this last time I was up here. You could develop into a solid math teacher because, you know, to be honest, like every math teacher is not a good math teacher. And a lot of times, like, your children we look at our children as like bad students, but sometimes, like, you know, the teacher's not really as effective. A lot of teachers don't have proper training. So again, but what does that do? That puts it back on the onus back on us as parents to perhaps learn the math that we never learned so that we could be the ones that help our children. And then, because if they're not getting the proper, you know, education and instruction in the classroom, then we got to take that responsibility. So that's one of the things I would say.
Okay. And what are some organizations you gentlemen would like to work with in the future?
Oh, so, you know, for us, you know, my wife says, she always likes to say collaboration over a competition or something like that, right? Essentially where she's saying, listen, there are, just in Baltimore City alone, right, we're talking about over 80,000 students between public school as well as private school, right? So you have over 80,000 students. And, you know, the Ryan Institute, we can't service all of them, right? We don't have the capacity, you know, all this math, they don't have the capacity to serve all of them, right? And so we have to work together to really help provide resources to our families. So for us, you know, again, like I said, we're connected with Team Mello, we're connected to the Sanctuary Collective, we're connected with Leader Breeders, you know, of course, we're connected with Morgan State University. You know, my wife and I, we take a lot of pride in making sure that every student that we work with, they're going to get exposed to Morgan State in some form or fashion. You know, but there's so many other organizations that's out there that are legitimately doing the work of really trying to help our community be a better place. Again, and that's just in Baltimore City, right? And so when we go out to, when we add Baltimore County to the mix right now, we're talking to probably over 200,000 students that need some type of support, whether it's academic or enrichment or even, you know, mental health, whatever it may be. And so we're open to work with all organizations that are actively doing this work. And we're going to continue to do work, you know, with our partners. KDW Cares is another one that kind of stands out. And of course, all this math, you know, we've been rocking and rolling for years and working together. And so I'm pretty sure I'm probably missing some organizations. Blame it to my head, not my heart, of course. But, you know, there are so many organizations that's doing some amazing work. And so we're just, you know, we're open to working with everyone as long as they put children first. That's the main thing. Like we have to be non-negotiable when it comes to that, right? You know, as far as showing love and appreciation and really care for our students.
Tell us how you can be reached.
Oh, so the Ryan Institute, you can find us on our webpage is www.learnwithryan.com. Instagram is @LearnWithRyan. On Facebook is facebook.com, the Ryan Institute LLC. TikTok is @LearnWithRyan. And YouTube is also the Ryan Institute LLC.
Speaking of TikTok, you do some dances with the math and all that. You use math and dance as well, right? Definitely. Tell everybody where they can follow you.
So definitely go to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is called All This Math. Not All That Math, but All This Math. So definitely go in there, like, subscribe, and share. Don't be selfish. Let people know about it. On Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, it's All This Math. On Facebook, it's All This Math. So it's just All This Math everywhere, on all the platforms.
Nice.
I think this is a really important part of our show, Meet Us in the Trenches. This is how we can, you know, really just reach out to other communities and, you know, show what organizations are actually out there, because not a lot of people know that these organizations are out there and available. Mm-hmm. So it's really important. So please support Black-owned media.
Yeah. Oh, also, shout out to our sponsors, Moe's Seafood, Play It Again, Timonium, Brainstream Media, and Tone Drone Productions.
And let's keep telling our stories unapologetically. Let's keep spreading love. And make sure you follow us, Meet Trenches.
Yes,
And we
and
will
all-
be back in another 2 weeks.
In another 2 weeks. Also, June 7th,
Tell us
the Big
about it.
Uglies presents the 5-on-5 O-line camp competition. We got teams 12, 13, and 14U. That'll be June 7th, 10:30 at Cunyon Field, Edgewood. It's free of charge. It's a team event. So if you come out there in singles, we just going to send you back home. You got to come with a team and be ready to rock and roll. And we'll be promoting this up until the event. So come aboard.
Yeah, we got to talk about that next time. I want to know what inspired all that.
All right,
But
let's
thank you
go.
guys for coming. Thank you for coming again, and thank you for coming. We appreciate you both.
Yeah. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. We out.
We out.
See you in 2 weeks, baby.